Hey guys, BSIC here. Again, there's a lot of people out there that, think that they can do no wrong. They think they're special. Or they maybe think they're special in a different kind of way. But, you know, that's just how people are sometimes. That's just how their brains are wired. Their brains are wired to think that they can do no wrong or they can't get in trouble. Well, the truth is that that's not really the case. It's pretty much not really the case for anybody. I mean, any of us can really get in trouble if we push people far enough. I mean, sure, there's, people out there that are privileged, kind of like my father. And, just like people like my father, sometimes they lose sight of their reality around them through isolation. And even the isolation that they put themselves through, and then just sometimes will act like everything's all right. Even though the truth is, not everything is really all right. Not really. Not everything, anyway. But I think you get my point on that. But, you know, there are so many people out there that will just try to get away with shit. And I think deep down, they do know that if sometimes they've done something and enough people knew about it, that they think they know that they're going to get in trouble. I mean, sometimes I definitely think that they can just get away with it, even though most of the time they don't. And even if they do, what these people have done will some lots of times come to light later on and after death. Lots of times. I mean, just look at all the shit that people have done. I mean, there's plenty of ways that you can try to get away with something. And it's not like it's impossible, but I just think it's funny these people, that they have this mindset, that if they can, just because they can get away with it, it seems like it's all right for them to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's okay, you know? And, I don't necessarily believe in right or wrong, really, but just the thought process of, well, just because I can get away with it, so that makes it okay. I mean, what is that kind of thought process, I, in a sense, I'm just not wired in the right way to completely understand it to that extent. To actually just think, it's okay because I'm able to get away with it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could say that's because I actually have something called empathy. Whereas, of course, some people, they just don't have any. Little to none. That's, especially for even privileged people. I think, a decade ago when the recession was going on, I think that they even themselves had finally realized that they could actually lose their jobs, a decade ago when the recession was going on. And I just don't think that people like that are very used to being put into a position where they actually have to do something about something that's happening, in their lives. I just don't think that some people are just used to that. And I also know that privileged people like that, they just are not used to being screwed over. Because I remember at one point, they were actually taking another percentage out of rich people at one point, right? Was it like another 10% or something like that? Towards, the the nation's debt, basically. And when that happens, like they got so pissed off, right? Because the rich, they aren't used to being screwed out of their money like the poor are. They are not. And so when that happened, they got so pissed. And also some of the other people enriched that lost their jobs, and sometimes their jobs were taken over by somebody that wasn't white, right? or of a different race. And this, of course, pissed them off so much. And, it's funny because a lot of these problems to this day could have actually been fixed. Like, especially the immigration problem. I mean, instead of trying to actually work with, the fact that immigrants are coming to our country, all they've been trying to do ever since then is just get rid of them the whole time, but they just keep on pouring in and pouring in. And there are solutions to this issue that would at least help, but they aren't doing those solutions lots of times, Instead, they just keep on trying to push these immigrants outright. I mean, just for one, and they keep on not, trying to push the, how should I call it? They're not trying to push the amount that we're getting paid at work either. They're not trying to make a standard for every state. You know what I mean? And that's part of what the immigration problem is causing, because they don't want to change the rate of, payment for the workers' rights. They just want to get more money. And so instead of changing the payment rates for immigrants, for one, or even just simply making them into American citizens after a certain amount of years, like they probably should be doing. I mean, my God, that's what they used to do in the past when this country was first made, right? That's how we became a nation. But instead of doing that, they keep on just trying to fight this whole stupid ass race war. And it's just ridiculous. And sometimes I'll see even some of the rednecks around here talking about how they just need to boot all these Mexicans out or something, that they're the reason why the nation's going under or something. It's like, no, that's not really even the half of it. I mean, yeah, the immigration thing is a bit of an issue, but it's, it's not because of something that's so damn racist. It's not because of them. It's not because of the Mexicans. It's because they just do not know how to deal with a problem like this, and they don't want to deal with it, is what the real issue is. I mean, I hate to say it, but if this nation were to, let's say, actually like work with each other, like if these workplaces actually worked with each other, this nation would be in a much better spot than it is now. And I know it doesn't sound like this is really something that I need to be saying in this video, but it actually does. Because you see, the problem is that these people think that they can just get away with what they're doing. They just think they think they could just get away with what they're doing. But the problem is that, again, nobody is special. Nobody is. We are all going to be getting our fair share of punishments if they keep on doing this. In fact, if this really does keep up, this nation could cease to exist eventually. All the people that have a business here, including Ford and so on and so forth, they're all going to lose their businesses just because they're corrupt. They seriously will if they keep this shit up. And if it gets really bad, again, this nation could go under and there won't even be an America anymore. It happened with Rome. It could happen here. With that being said, I'll end this video. You can maybe comment below if you want and all that. We could talk a little more about this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.